Good afternoon, students. So, as I have already sent you my first video in the chapter Constitution, today we will discuss about the different types of constitution which I have already started. We have the 6 kinds of constitution. That day I have given you a brief description of all the constitutions of the different types of constitutions. That is written, unwritten, rigid, flexible, and adopted and enacted. So I have explained you all. Today we will discuss about the merits and demerits of the different types of constitution. First of all, we will discuss about the merits of a flexible constitution. What is the merit? That means advantage of a flexible constitution. Now, the world is not static, it is constantly moving, and the laws or the rules and regulations framed in the constitution need to be changed according to the situation. So, the first major advantage of a flexible constitution is its ability to change easily in accordance with the changes in the social and political environment of the society and the state. So this is the first advantage of a flexible constitution. Secondly, it is very helpful in meeting emergencies. See, during the time of emergency, if a country is having a rigid constitution, then it has to go through a long process. But emergency means which is to be taken care very fast. Now, in meeting emergencies, because it can be easily amended. So, it is better in case of meeting emergencies because it can be amended easily. It enables the government to undertake all steps deemed essential for meeting the situation created by an emergency. So first of all was flexible constitution, its ability to change. Second, because of its easily amended, it enables the government to undertake all steps deemed essential for meeting the situation created by an emergency. This is the second advantage. Third, because of its dynamic nature, there are less opportunities for revolts. Because if something is rigid and in any case it harms the interest of the people might rise to revolt. But if the situation is that it can be amended, it is a flexible, then the chances of revolts are less. Fourthly and finally, since the flexible constitution keeps in developing with times. Developing with time means, as I said in the very beginning, that the world is constantly changing and we have to move along with the change of time. So, it remains to be fresh and popular all the time. It effectively mirrors the historical development which keep on coming in the society itself. Next is the demerits of a flexible constitution. What are the demerits of a flexible constitution? Because of its flexible nature, it is often a source of instability. Flexibility enables the government in power to give it a desired dress and content. Number 2, it is not suitable for a federation, because in a federation, flexible constitution can lead to undesirable, easy and even unilateral changes in the constitution by the federal government or by the government of federating units. And thirdly, as Bryce says that a flexible constitution can be successful only when other certain conditions are present in the environment. Otherwise, it becomes a source of instability and trouble. It demands the presence of what are the requirements? It demands the presence of honest and mature leadership controlling the exercise of sovereign power. Immature leadership can use flexibility of the constitution for pursuing selfish and narrowly conceived goal. Secondly, most of the people of the state should be willing and active participate in politics. So if these conditions are fulfilled, then only the flexible constitution is said to be good. Otherwise, flexible constitution leads to a source of instability. Next, we come to rigid constitution. Now, first we will discuss about the merits of rigid constitution. Now, as I said, what is a rigid constitution? A constitution whose amending procedure is not same as that of the constitutional amendment, as that of the ordinary bill. So the constitutional amendment and the ordinary amendment cannot be same. A country which follows this principle is said to be a rigid constitution. But in a country where ordinary laws and the constitutional laws are amended in the same procedure is said to have a flexible constitution. In a rigid constitution, what are the advantages? A rigid constitution is a source of stability in administration because it cannot be an easy tool in the hands of the ruling party to change it from time to time, as so they cannot give it a desired shape according to their wish. Secondly, it maintains continuity in administration. So there are certain standard operating processes. Whichever party comes to power, it will have to follow the same procedure. That is why it maintains continuity in administration. Next, third, it cannot become a tool in the hands of the party exercising the power of the state in a particular time. Since it is clearly mentioned, it is clearly defined in the rigid constitution, so it cannot be easily changed according to the ruling party. Fourthly, it prevents autocratic exercise of power by the government. Since in a rigid constitution, the powers and functions or the rights of the, you should not say power, rather the rights of the people are clearly mentioned in the constitution. So if in any way the government tries to impose something by force, or if the government tries to be autocratic, in such case there are also certain privileges or rights of the people so that they can go to the court. Now it prevents autocratic exercise of powers by the government, because in a federal system or in a federal system, the people have the right to, in a liberal democratic system, the people have the right to enjoy their rights. And if anyone infringes the right, the person can go to the court. And last is, fifth and finally, a rigid constitution is ideal for a federation, because in such case the center cannot change a law unilaterally, and it cannot become autocratic. It cannot become autocratic. It cannot become dominant, because in a constitution the powers and functions of both the center and the state governments are clearly mentioned. No one can dominate over the other. In this way, these are the merits of a rigid constitution. Now, as I said, when anything has a merit, it must have a demerit also. First, the chief demerit of a rigid constitution is that it fails to keep pace with fast changing socio-economic environment and needs. So this is one disadvantage. Since it is rigid, it cannot keep pace with the change of or it is not suitable for the need of the hour. Secondly, it becomes an inability to change easily. It hinders the process of social and political development. So something which cannot be changed, or it cannot be very fastly changed, or it cannot be changed easily, so it becomes a burden, or it becomes an obstacle in the process of social and political development. Thirdly, it can be a source of hindrance during emergency, because during emergency something fast actions needs to be taken, but since it's a rigid constitution, it is delayed because of the procedure. Fourthly, its inability to change easily can lead to revolts against the government. Now, we have read in the advantage of flexible constitution that the chances of revolts are less because it can immediately change. And lastly, a rigid constitution is a source of conservativeness. It is static, it is not dynamic, where it becomes the old very soon and fails to keep pace with time. So these are the merits and demerits of the rigid constitution. So today we will do up to this. Next day we will start with the real differences between the rigid and the flexible constitution. Till then, all of you take care of yourself, stay safe, stay healthy. Goodbye.